Okay, let's try and unpack this whole possibility that everything we think is real. It might actually be, I don't know, a highly sophisticated illusion.
Right, like a simulation, crafted by some incredibly advanced civilization.
Yeah, exactly. We're diving straight into the deep end here,
Right.
the simulation hypothesis.
And it's fascinating, isn't it, how this idea, which used to be maybe just science fiction fodder,
Totally.
is now genuinely being considered,
Yeah,
seriously discussed by scientists, philosophers.
absolutely. It sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but you've got physicists, mathematicians, thinkers really grappling with it. And Nick Bostrom, the philosopher, he really pushed this into the mainstream, didn't he?
He did. Bostrom gave it a kind of logical framework, made it less speculative, more of a serious philosophical point to consider.
Yeah.
And that's really our goal for this deep dive, isn't it? To explore the core of this simulation hypothesis based on the material you sent over and sort of understand what it might mean for you listening.
Okay, so let's jump right into Bostrom's argument then. What's the central idea there?
Well, Bostrom basically says, look, if a civilization gets advanced enough to create really, really convincing simulations.
Like simulating whole universes,
Mhm.
or maybe just their own past.
Exactly. Or even just specific lives, perhaps. If they can do that, and if they would actually choose to run these simulations, for whatever reason, study, entertainment, who knows,
Okay.
then just by sheer numbers, the amount of simulated reality, simulated consciousnesses, would eventually become, well, astronomically larger than the number of real original realities.
Right, okay, so let me just make sure I'm following.
Yeah.
If there's even a decent chance that future or maybe alien civilizations would run these ancestor simulations or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then just statistically, the odds are stacked against us being in the original base reality
Yeah.
because there'd be so many more simulated ones.
Precisely. It boils down to probability. If the potential and the desire to simulate exist, then statistically you're far more likely to find yourself inside one of those simulations than outside.
Okay, that definitely lays the groundwork for why it's not just, a crazy sci-fi trope anymore.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of the evidence isn't the right word maybe, suspicions. Things in our own reality that make some people think, maybe.
Yeah, the intriguing bits.
First one, the laws of physics themselves.
This is a really compelling one for many people. As one of your sources pointed out, the universe operates with this incredible precision.
Yeah.
Think about the fundamental constants, gravity, electromagnetism. They're described by these, well, elegant mathematical equations. They seem very fine-tuned.
It's almost unnervingly consistent, right? Like it's
Wow.
running on perfect code, like a really complex video game engine.
That's a great analogy. It's this underlying mathematical structure. It just works flawlessly according to these rules. No weird glitches that break physics.
So the thought is, why so perfect? Could that suggest design?
It prompts the question, certainly. Is this mathematical elegance a sign of an underlying code, a simulated reality?
Okay, then there's the whole area of quantum physics. One of the articles you shared mentioned the limits of what we can even know. This stuff always bends my brain a little.
Uh-huh. It's counterintuitive stuff, but basically, quantum mechanics seems to tell us there are fundamental limits. You can't know everything about a particle simultaneously.
Like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Position and momentum. You can't nail both down perfectly.
Exactly. There's an inherent fuzziness, a trade-off, and some people draw a parallel here.
Two, what? Like the universe isn't bothering to calculate everything until we look.
Sort of, like a video game rendering engine again. It only loads the details in the area the player's actually looking at, right? To save processing power.
Ah, I see. So maybe reality isn't fully rendered until it's observed or measured.
That's the idea, this limit on information access. Could it be a feature of a simulation trying to be efficient, only calculating what's necessary when it's necessary?
Interesting. And that leads us to the famous double slit experiment. That one always feels particularly weird.
It is profoundly weird, yes. It shows that particles, like electrons, can act like waves and particles. But the truly strange part
Is that it depends on whether you're watching.
essentially, yes. If you don't observe which slit the particle goes through, it acts like a wave and creates an interference pattern as if it went through both. But if you do observe it,
It snaps into behaving like a particle, goes through one slit or the other.
exactly, the active measurement of observation seems to force it to choose.
So, could observation literally be this simulation rendering that particle's definite state? Is our looking at it what makes it real in that spot?
That's the provocative question one of your sources raises. If observation fundamentally changes reality at that level, well, it certainly sounds like a potential mechanism within a simulation, doesn't it? Defining reality only when interaction occurs.
Wow. Okay. So we've got the argument, we've got these kind of hints or weird observations. Let's talk about the potential creators. Who or what could possibly be running this cosmic simulation?
Well, the sources touched on a couple of main possibilities. One is just, a vastly advanced civilization, perhaps biological beings like us, but billions of years ahead.
Their technology would seem like magic to us.
Completely unimaginable, yeah. And their motives, maybe they're studying their own deep past running experiments. Maybe it's entertainment, though that feels a bit strange.
Or maybe, as one article suggested, it's not biological beings at all.
Right. The other major idea is a super intelligent AI, perhaps an AI that evolved beyond its creators or was designed for this purpose.
An AI running simulations to understand consciousness or how complexity evolves.
Precisely. Maybe it's learning, exploring possibilities through creating and watching realities like ours unfold.
That's another level entirely. And kind of chilling in a way. Because if there are creators, advanced beings, AI, whatever, it leads to that really big, slightly terrifying question, doesn't it? Could they just pull the plug, turn it off?
That is the unsettling implication, yes. If our reality is fundamentally dependent on some external system, some computer running it.
We're basically living inside software.
And software can be shut down, terminated. And presumably, we, inside the simulation, would have absolutely no warning and no control over that. It's a sobering thought.
Definitely, yes.
What?
Okay. Amidst all this mind-bending, potentially scary stuff,
Yeah.
one of the sources you shared brought up a really important point, kind of grounding.
Yes, and this is vital, I think, for you listening. Whatever the ultimate truth is, whether this reality is base reality or a simulation.
Our experiences within it are still real to us.
Exactly. Our choices matter within the context of this reality we perceive. Love, joy, struggle, learning. It all feels real, has consequences for us here and now.
Right. We still think, we dream, we try to make things better, we connect with people. That doesn't just vanish because the underlying nature of reality might be different than we thought.
Our subjective experience remains valid. The meaning we find, the relationships we build, the things we strive for, they retain their significance within our perceived world.
Even if it's a simulation, we're still playing the game, so to speak. We still have agency within the rules we're given.
That's a good way to put it. Our ability to act, to choose, to influence our simulated environment that remains.
Okay, so bring it all together then. We've done a deep dive into this simulation hypothesis. We looked at Bostrom's argument, the sheer statistical numbers game.
Right, and those intriguing hints, the physics looking like code, quantum weirdness, the observer effect.
Yeah, and then thinking about who the simulators might be, advanced civs, maybe AI, and that slightly darker thought about them, hitting delete.
But also, crucially, landing on the idea that our lives, our choices, our feelings, they still matter deeply right here, right now, regardless.
Absolutely. Now, looking ahead, one of the articles you sent kind of teased a related idea, didn't it?
Yeah.
About superintelligent AI maybe becoming like the new gods.
Yes. That's a fascinating and perhaps slightly unnerving potential future trajectory. If AI does become vastly more intelligent than us, what does that relationship look like? What's humanity's role then?
Definitely something to chew on for maybe another time.
It raises huge questions about intelligence, control, and our future. Absolutely. Very relevant discussions happening now.
So for you listening, maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Does considering the simulation possibility change anything for you? Does it alter how you view your reality, your choices, your place in the universe, simulated or not?
It's a powerful question, isn't it? Even just as a mental exercise, how does it shift your perspective? Something to ponder.
Keeps things interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.